Hello there. I am so happy you are here today to listen to this you stream. And today we have a really great topic. And first of all, I'm going to show you what this is about. This is called She Self-Help Energies for Personal Development by Sandra Longmore, sandralongmore.com. And there's the artwork for she. She is for self-help energies for personal development. And the whole purpose of she is to provide content that will inform and uplift you for personal development and self-care. And today's topic is going to be dreams and how to put your sleep time to work and learn all about how study of dream time has affected good health and learn about sleep and dreaming and what it is all about and learn how to develop a vocabulary with your dreams. Doesn't that sound great? You know, the good times are here now and it's up to you. It's entirely up to you. So, today's broadcast is really about a very familiar subject, dreams. We do this every night. Everybody does this night, even little tiny babies and animals. And so today it's about looking at a subject that's very familiar like dream time and looking at it in an unfamiliar way. And we're going to take in the whole spectrum of you, the whole broad part of you. And now, first I wanted to make a comment. Last week I had said that I would do the broadcast on do you want to settle for less? Well, I had a change here. I changed my topic. And so today's broadcast is about your energy spectrum, the wholeness of you, and we're going to explore this familiar subject in an unfamiliar way. That is your sleep time or your dream time. You know, you do spend a lot of time sleeping, so why not learn how to use this dream time, this sleep time, to be more effective and get more out of life? I know you're going to like that. So I think we are actually on the but the next step of human evolution. And that next step is this one. Good times are here now. And, you know, good times are being in alignment with the wholeness of you. Living in life purpose is a state of being. Your life purpose is what you are living right now, experiencing right now, and not years from today. Living in a state of flow with who you are, living in a state of well-being, and living in a well-balanced society. Doesn't that sound wonderful? I really believe we are headed into the best of times, golden ones. I really, really do feel that. So today is all about tapping into more understanding of the energy spectrum. And I'm going to bring this down a little bit so we can see it. The energy spectrum. And the energy spectrum is, I like this slide here. So think about yourself as an energy. And this was from a TED Talk about energy is a law. And it can be full spectrum. So 4% of you is like this blood, the blood of you and your bones and your physicalness. And the rest is 96%, and it's energy too. And so we're going to talk a lot about this 4%, 96% idea. But today is about tapping into more understanding of your energy spectrum and of knowing that it's not possible to ever stand still because your energy spectrum is constantly moving. This is the nature of energy. So you might say, okay, how do I get there? I'm kind of feeling stuck here. Don't you just love that slide? I'm kind of feeling stuck here, you know. And how did I get here anyway? It's because you got here because you're thinking the same thoughts. The energy is changing. as that is its nature. It's always changes. But if you are thinking the same thing over and over again, it's like you are on the hamster wheel. And do you ever feel this way? Is this you? Yep, running around on that hamster wheel again and again. Oh no, here I am again. If you want things to be different, if you want to get off the hamster wheel differently, you must think different thoughts. And that, dear one, seems simply requires finding familiar ways of approaching unfamiliar ways of approaching familiar subjects. And today we're going to approach such a thing, a very familiar thing, like the dream time. And here's a slide of Garfield. Garfield sleeping. Ah, so we do sleep, and it's sweet, very important to us. But what about if we look at it in a more unfamiliar way? It's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun today. And I'm so turned on to share this with you. And as always, listen with an open heart and let yourself play big and express more. It is fun. It's enlightening. It's a great way to discover all of life, even the part of you that is under the covers. So, what does it look like and feel like to be under the covers? Well, this little girl says it's going to be fun. She says, I'm discovering. This is an adventure. When did you feel that way last? That it was like discovering and an adventure? Well, how about tonight? You could discover that. Say your eyes start to get sleepy when it gets about time to go to bed. So think about this as you get ready to go to sleep. Remember, like your eyes are heavy and sleep time is near, and you think, oh, I'm so grateful that I can go to sleep pretty soon. And I feel my eyes close and I just snuggle under my red flannel sheets and I lay my head down on my pillow. And this is a sign. This is a sign to my dream time, a sign to the cosmos, a sign to the spectrum of all energy that I'm ready. I'm ready for that discovery, just like this little girl back here. I'm ready for this moment. This is going to be fun. It's going to be an adventure. So I'm ready for this moment and I welcome sleep time. Well, I wanted to talk to you about this person here, H.F. Hedge. And he said, dreaming is an act of pure imagination. H.F. Hedge says in a quote about creativity and dream, attesting in all men a creative power, which, if were unavailable in waking, would make every man a Dante or Shakespeare. Quote, that's a quote by H.F. Hedge. We can do anything, not boundaries in the sleep energy spectrum. So when we sleep, we can do anything. You can fly, you can zip from one place to another. So now, how about taking some of that information and using it in your third dimensional life? So now I feel this way, as I go to bed, I feel my mind relaxing into this state of pure imagination. So think about that. What's it going to be like tonight? Well, the morning can tell you. It will tell you. And I am so high when I drift off to sleep and see yourself as high, feeling high, expectant. I am happy as I drift off to sleep. Now, before we go any further, let's talk about some mathematics. A lot of people like math. So, an average adult sleeps an average of 8 hours a night, and multiplied that by 365 days, you get 2,920 hours a year. On the average, American sleeps 74.1 years. Oh, 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 snag. Oh my goodness. Well, today, we have completely altered the statistics. At 74.1 years, many of us are just getting warmed up. And that's like us, me. I'm 71 and I just feel like I'm just getting warmed up. But anyway, For the sake of mathematics formula, and for the sake of me not having to run these numbers again, you sleep 1/3 of your lifetime. And if you break it down, 74.1 years is a huge number times zero point 0.3, which equals another huge number. So the average American sleeps about 2 million hours of their 6.5 million hours of life. Simply put, an average American sleeps 8 hours a day, which is 24 hours, and 8 hours is 1/3 of 24, or the simply yet, down to just the simplicity of it all, we sleep a lot. We really do. So, how can you get more out of this spectrum of energy? Our sleep time, our dream time, is the question I am going to share with you today. Doesn't that sound enlightening and fun? We're going to get more out of life. We're going to get more. Yippee! Everybody likes that. So Wikipedia says about sleep, the purpose and mechanisms of sleep are only partially clear and the subject of substantial ongoing research. So as they are still thinking about sleep, I'm going to share some of my own thoughts on the subject of sleep and dreaming, and you're going to like this. First, we go to another resource, good old Wikipedia. Wikipedia goes on to say about dreams. Dreams are a succession of images, ideas, and emotions and sensations that occur involuntarily in the mind during certain stages of sleep. The content and purpose of dreams are not definitely understood, though they have been a topic of scientific speculation and a subject of philosophical and religious interest throughout recorded history. The scientific study of dreams is called onacology. Dreams can last for a few seconds or as long as 20 minutes. People are more likely to remember the dream if they're awakening during REM, the REM phase. The average person has 3 to 5 dreams per night, but some may have as many as seven dreams in one night. The dream tends to last longer as the night progresses, and during a full 8-hour night's sleep, 2 hours of it is spent dreaming. So for my purposes, and so that I can do things in a more simple way that work for me, is I asked my subconscious, I said, hey, subconscious, to limit my recall of the most important dreams and make them short. When I first started working with dreams many years ago, I would have pages and pages and pages of dreams because I could recall all of them, every single thing. And so now I say, let's just make it like a little sound bite that means something to me. And that's what I get. You can do anything, you know. So what is it about the dreams? Why do we have them in the first place? Well, this is the psychological interpretation, the psychologist's interpretation. There are so many books written on dreams, symbology, and the meaning of dreams. The books, to me, take in an overview of the consensus of consciousness on a symbol, like water or burning fire, saying that if you took a poll, most people would say water means such and such. But there is also many other aspects to take in when you attempt to interpret a dream using water, like what color is the water? Is it muddy or is it clear? Is it rough or is it smooth? What is the temperature of that water? I think you get the picture. You can go on to the internet and find out more about the symbols of dreams. I particularly like the dreamdictionary.org. It's really good. And also we have someone on our Creating Calm network that interprets dreams as well. And I'm going to show you her at the end of this broadcast. So as you consult a psychologist, you can consult a psychologist or a coach like me, and we can work through your dreams. And because there is so much, there's a wealth of information coming to you, lots of info, energy about how to live your life and where you are right now. And if you don't like it, how to change it. It's just a wealth of information coming from the dream time. And later in this broadcast, I'll be sharing my method of how I formed it for interpreting dreams. But first, let's talk a little bit about dream sharing or other cultures. Now, I have always found it fun to share with my children um, about dreams. I used to ask my children, "Did you have a good dream last night?" And this was that dreamdictionary.org dream site that I was talking to you about. And here's another slide. And this is about talking to your children in the morning. If you say, "Did you dream last night? What was it?" Well, it's a very good conversation starter with your children. And often tapping into a current condition that maybe the child was trying to work on, or by taking it in terms of dream language, they were able to express what was on their mind freely without a fear of parental judgment, usually. Usually, we are moms and dads. So let's first take a look at dream history. The sharing of dreams. I'm going to put it back here. And here's that slide of talking to children. Aren't our children wonderful? And then this is about the history of dreams. Hieroglyphics. Now, the sharing of dreams dated clear back at least as far as 400,000 to 300,000 BC in permanent form on clay tablets. In ancient Egypt, dreams were among the items recorded in the form of hieroglyphics. In ancient Egypt, cultures, dream sharing had a religious context as priests doubled as dream interpreters. So they were both priests and they also interpreted dreams. And those whose dreams were especially vivid or significant were thought to be very blessed and were given special status in these ancient societies. Likewise, people who were able to interpret dreams were thought to receive these gifts right directly from the gods. And they enjoyed a special society in their culture and in their society as well. Well, some people also, when it comes to dreams, think that it's because of their digestion or their anxiety. Now, this respect for dreams really did change radically in the 19th century. And dreams in that era were often dismissed as just these reactions to having eaten something or an outside noise or even bad foods and indigestion. And that is what my husband always claims as he recalls a particular dream that got his attention. In fact, it's so interesting because this morning he told me, "I had a dream about two coyotes chasing me." And then he says, he had eaten something bad that night or something. He always says that. So anyway, it can be that. It can be food that gets you started. But there's so much more to this, so much more. And during this period of time of the 19th century, dreams were thought to have no meaning at all. And interest in dream interpretation all but evaporated until this man came on the planet. And that's Sigmund Freud. And with the arrival of Sigmund Freud in the 19th century, it stunned the world of psychiatry by stressing the importance of dreams, and he revived that once dead art of dream interpretation. Now remember, energy is always moving, and new things are being discovered and tried by all of us in our life right here today on earth. Isn't that the greatest thing ever? We are in the times of creating history. Now, have you ever heard of the dream temples in ancient times? Have you ever heard of those? Well, they had these dream temples, and here's a slide on one right here. And they are regarded by some during those times as hospitals of sorts, healing a variety of ailments, perhaps some of them even psychological in terms. But during these times, I think this is so fascinating. The people would come and set up camps around the temples and commence with their daily living. They cooked and they chatted with their neighbors and they slept. And in the morning, the priests that were the special dream analysis would come, and they would ask what the sick person dreamed. They also asked the dreams of all those in the family, and ultimately in the whole camp, and, that all the people that were there for the healing. Now I can see a pattern here emerging. A field was being formed by those who were in the camps. When the priest determined the dream of the whole camp was of a high enough frequency, then the sick dreamer was also of a high frequency. He was admitted to the healing temple and the healing rituals began. In other words, the spectrum of energy of the whole camp, the field, had to be ready to receive healing as well as the person who was ill. And this was a qualifier. This was a qualifier for success. Now, how does that set with you? Are you lifting your vibration daily, hourly, minute by minute, so that the entire field that surrounds you is open and ready for your success? Well, it all starts with you. Now, the sleep temples, they existed around Middle East and ancient Greece. And in Greece, they were built in honor of Asclepius, the Greek god of medicine, and they were called Asclepian. The Greek treatment was referred to as incubation, and focused on prayers for healing. A similar Hebrew treatment was referred to as kavana and involved focusing on the letters of the Hebrew alphabet, spelling the name of the Hebrew god. Now I found this very interesting fact. This guy, Sir Mortimer Wheeler, unearthed a Roman sleep temple at Linney Park, Gloucestershire in 1928 with the assistance of a young J.R.R. Tolkien. How about that for a coincidence? Lord of the Rings? Yep. So people who do great things have come in contact with great things too. Now, on a personal note, I did take part in a sleep temple twice in my life. The first time was with Jean Houston and her mystery school. And I'll get us back here to the slideshow and show you Jean. This is beautiful Jean. Yeah, she is some lady, I'll tell you. So the first time was with Jean Houston in this mystery school. And I attended that mystery school for one weekend a month for a year. It was for the whole weekend. And I was very fortunate that she was holding it at Portland, Oregon. And it was a fantastic experience. Talk about a field created. When the school took place, I would drive to Portland for the weekend, and I was really full of discovery and expectation that this was going to be different. And my vibe was so high. And when I walked into the mystery school, everybody else was really high and ready for something new. And I can really honestly say I was never, ever disappointed. Well, on this particular weekend that I went to mystery school, Jean said, we are going to create a Asclepian Greek sleep temple. And so we did. We all gathered together in the central hall. We drug our pads and sleeping bags and blankies and everything. And there we all laid out. And of course, it was pretty crowded. So it was like toe to toe and head to toe. And there was snoring and during the sleeping time. And you can imagine all those people in one place sleeping. Well, when I laid my head down, I just went to sleep. I slept soundly. and I could feel the field of the others as we went into dreaming together. And in the morning, we shared our dreams together. In the morning, a pattern emerged. It was really, really interesting. And that pattern just surprised us all. There was everything, a whole spectrum of this third dimensional everything. There was drama, there was healing, there was sadness, there was happiness, there was expansion, there was creating something new, but it was just absolutely fantastic, fantastic experience. Now this kind of happens when you're going from the 4% into the 96%, those unfamiliar places. It's hard to explain because it's not an intellectual experience. It's something that happens in your soul and in your core. But I knew something definitely had happened during that mystery school. And it's high. It's high on my experiences that I have experienced in my life. And just as a side note, you might be wondering, well, how, as you listen to more and more of these broadcasts, either here or on iTunes, or you can get them on my site. As you listen to more on this, you'll find out, how did she get around like that and all those variety of experiences? Well, my secret was I had a clothing line. And that clothing line was called Sandra's Fine Art Apparel. And every day I would create these marvelous garments, beautiful garments. And then I would go to different venues and sell them. Sometimes to Saturday markets in Portland, sometimes to craft shows or art shows, and sometimes to events like this, like the Mystery School. And the Mystery School is my target market. That's the woman or a man who would be buying an outfit for that was creative, special, and that's anyway. I did really well at those kinds of venues, and to top it all off, I got to go a lot of places. So this is how I experienced so many great experiences with events like this. And that was just one of many, many. And I'll share them with you from time to time when they're appropriate with whatever the topic is. And isn't it great? Isn't it great to think that, I could have something that pays my way to go to things that I love and enjoy and would probably pay for anyway and make money. Yeah, it was a win-win experience for me. And the other time I went to a sleep temple experience was with the group called Touch Drawing. And touch drawing, let's see, I have a little slide here. I'll get back to it. This is a slide of some women doing touch drawing. And touch drawing was an experience that we could go to for 7 days. It was a 7-day retreat up on Whidbey Island. And I just loved it. I'd pack up all my clothes first that I was going to sell there. And then I shared my profits with Deborah, and she said if it wasn't for me and my clothes, that she might even have to stop having these retreats because, you sometimes don't make a lot of money, even though it's a lot of fun on a retreat. So anyway, it was a win-win for us too. Now, touch drawing, as you can see, these women are they're drawing with their fingers, and a field. Can you imagine the field that would be created in 7 days of being together and working out different, going through different processes to create these drawings? And they were extremely meaningful to me as I created them over the 7-day period. Now, just as a little side note here, Hippocrates is also said to receive his medical training at Asclepion on the Isle of Kos. And prior to becoming the personal physician to the Roman Empire, Marcus Aurelius Galen treated and studied at the famed Asclepion at Pergamum. So there's a history here for this. And we in this touch drawing, tapped into that field. And we are in good company. You're in good company when you can tap into a field of great healers, philosophers, and anything in the 96% that's willing to come forward as you have a high vibration by doing what you love. So I think, I was in good company whenever I did these Asclepian temples experiences. And in my lifetime, in my study of the energy spectrum, yeah, well, it just was fantastic. And as you can tell, I have a lot of fun. And I have a lot of fun, had a lot of fun, and do have a lot of fun every single night with my dreams. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I've put together my particular formula for my interpretation of dreams. How do I do that? Well, with all the ideas about dream interpretation, I decided on one way that I could do this interpretation that would be simple and effective. And I learned this way from a Hawaiian medicine man, and that happened in the late 90s. There was a beautiful woman there in the 90s. Her name was Nancy Sukup, and she was a beautiful red-haired, vivacious goddess. And she opened up her house for a forum, about every other week. And she invited any passing metaphysicians or speakers of diverse subjects to come and speak to us. And so it was so much fun and so informative. And there were many interested and big hitters that came to her forums because her house was located right across the river from Portland, Oregon. It was just like, whew, just like that. And to top it all off, she would offer a spare bedroom, and then we would go to these forums and pay, of course, not a lot, but we would pay. And so there was those perks. They had a free lodging, they got some extra money, and they got to do what they loved. So on one of these scheduled forums, I was there, of course, with my clothes, by the way, and I did show my clothes there and gave Nancy half the profits, so we split it. That was such a win-win for both of us. But on this particular time, in this particular forum, there was a man, and that man was he was a shaman from Hawaii, and he came to talk about dreams. And, well, I don't remember this man's name, but I was very interested in learning about what he said, dreams, how you could interpret your dreams. And I had been working at that point with my dreams for a long time. But I have adopted this method. I've used this method ever since that forum. And I will share it right now with you. How about that? So first of all, you begin with the ritual. That's step one. Step one is you start with the ritual and you either write down the dream or record the dream immediately upon getting up. Now my ritual is very simple. I get up and I take out my wisdom journal and I take it over to the stove, and while the water is boiling, I write down my dream. Sometimes it's just a few sentences, one word, but there's something there. There's always something there. It's because of the ritual, because of the expectation of it being there. And I write it down as the coffee or the water is boiling, and then I pour myself a cup of coffee. So this is pretty quick. How long does it take for water to boil, huh? So if you do this regularly, you can have a recall of dreams. Now, it might take a little while for it to come, but be patient. It will come. And then I also ask, there's another key here. I also ask the night before for a short dream. Just a little short dream so that I don't have these pages and pages and pages of dreams. I ask for a short dream that comes to the point that would be helpful for me. And if I don't have any dream that time that I can recall, you always dream. But if it can't have any recall of a dream, then just write down a word or two words that come to you so that you have put the pen to that paper and you have written down something. And that will help you be more successful in remembering your dreams. Okay, so then I interpret the dream, and this is the way I do it. I write the dream actually in the first person, like it's really happening. And then I take the sentence and word association, the nouns and the verbs, and reinterpret the dream. I am absolutely amazed at how well this works. I have been able to penetrate a very deep part of myself. After working with dreams for a while, you're going to begin to create this vocabulary. They become like a friend to you, and you get this vocabulary going. And it's a way to tap into that energy spectrum, the the 96% of you, and bring it into the 4% personality life. And it is fun. It is fun, fun, fun. Mine are hilarious sometimes. Now I'm going to give you a little sample here. In a dream, I lost my wallet. The first word is lost, right? I lost my wallet. I'm keeping it simple here. And then I word associate. So the first word is lost, and my word association was found, abandoned, wood, sad, dark. And then you ask, which of those words has the most energy about it? Well, mine is the word found. Then the second word in the dream, remember it was I lost my wallet. The second dream is wallet. Second word is wallet. And my word association for wallet was container, money, leather, um, folds, travel. And then I picked the one with the most energy of those words. And for me, it was travel. So the way I would interpret for me, mine is I found my travel. So the interpretation of the dream of I lost my wallet was I found my travel. Now this interpretation makes a lot more sense to me as I want to travel. And I want to have a cruising lifestyle on cruise boats. And I've been thinking a lot about that lately. So dreams are symbols. And in this method of interpretation, it's fast, easy, effective, fun. You can learn to build this symbol vocabulary and find out some wonderful treasures to discover about yourself. And I found this way of interpreting dreams to be fascinating and very informative as to what my current state of vibration was. I can see the whole spectrum of energy, and I'm often left with this little sparkle in my eye and my mouth wide open as that dream interpretation comes forward. It just comes forward into the spotlight so I can really, really see it. It's like having a reading, reading of your energetics, but it comes from you and from your sleep time and all of you. And I do it all. It's all can be done while you're just sipping away on your morning coffee. So happy dreaming, everybody. And this is Sandra Longmore of sandralongmore.com signing off. But first, I'm going to show you a little bit more about some sites you might be interested in. And I have an announcement. I'm now podcasting on iTunes, and the name of my program is She, Self-Help Energies for Personal Development. And you can get it on iTunes. And now I'm going to switch over here to my desktop. And for that, I select a different thing here. I select full screen. And there you should have my desktop. But you don't. Let's see. Is that it? There it is. Yay. Okay, so here's right down here is Ustream. That's where I'm broadcasting from. And this was the keynote. But so I will hide keynote and I will hide this word. Why didn't you hide word? There, word's gone. All right, and Ustream left too, but I think I can get it back. So first of all, I'm going to take you to Chrome. Wonderful browser. There's Chrome. And I'm going to show you. This is my internet site right there. I have a new banner. Sandra Longmore, Radio Ustream TV. Maybe I should put host after that. I don't know. But anyway, life coach, self-help, personal development. And then here, this is what I'm so proud of. This is the launch of the She Self-Help Energies upon A to Z podcast graduation. And right here, see this? You can listen to my first podcast right there. And this weekend, I'll be putting up another one. So this podcast, that number one that I made, is of many to come, and I'm thrilled to announce my new podcast. And it's called She, SHE, Self-Help Energies for Personal Development. And you can expect a podcast on iTunes every Tuesday because I just took this wonderful course. It was called Podcasting A to Z from with Cliff Ravencraft. And this course is absolutely amazing. And I know I could not have accomplished podcasting without the course. So thank you, Cliff Ravencraft. I greatly appreciated all your support. Now, my podcast is going to be about self-help for personal development. And I'm going to explore many topics that will be helpful for your next steps to bringing out the you bring out you, yes, YOU, enjoying being a woman, and most of all, your true feminine voice. Now, the world needs and wants to hear you, and this is the time for the feminine world view. And I'll bring you great information about your life purpose as a state of being, of what you're living and experiencing right now, in this moment, not years from now, and how to live in a state of flow with who you really are, and living in a state of well-being for yourself and those you love. So doesn't that sound wonderful and so exciting to have a program dedicated to living life in joy and happiness with tools for solutions to any problems that you're currently experiencing? Well, this is how I'm feeling. I'm just feeling just turned on, just full of energy to bring those aha moments to you every single week. So that is what my latest thing is. And okay, I don't see the rest of my tabs here. I'll have to look at my site later. And I also wanted to show you this. This is from the Creating Calm Network. And here is one of our broadcasters is Carol J. Toms. And she's going to be on at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And she is a dream specialist. And she's a naturopathic. And she's going to unlock the secrets of dream. And she says dreams are messages that come to us from spirit. And they're filled with symbols. And each symbol means something different to each person. And so I think you might enjoy listening to her as well as if you're interested in more ideas about dreams. And we have all kinds of beautiful and wonderful programs here on the Creating Calm Network. You can go there and sign up for the newsletter. Here's my program, my Golden Goddess program, with two other co-hosts, Evelyn Kalandowski and Carol Hess. And let's see, I want to get to the top. There I am at the top. And I wanted to show you, that's right there, home. So maybe you want to get involved with the Creating Calm Network. You can fill out this form right here. You can fill out this form where it tells you you'll be getting the program guide in your email box, and it'll tell you about what the up and coming episodes are. And also, if you want to be a radio host, you can become a host. Anne has put together a program for helping you become a host, and she has a book out also and a free webinar coming up, so that will also help you become a host. And for me, this becoming a host just absolutely opened a door for me. I really didn't think I would be this, that I would be talking to you on the TV, Ustream TV, and Blog Talk Radio and my own podcast. I had not that idea, but it just naturally evolved, and it started here with Anne and the Creating Calm Network. So we'd love it if you got involved. Now, I wanted to show you this site as well. This is Cliff Ravencraft, Podcast Answer Man, and this is where I got my training for creating that podcast. And I can't thank Cliff enough. He was wonderful, has extraordinarily good information about how to do this. And I did it in 4 weeks. So thank you, Cliff. So now back to Ustream. And it just hid on me. So I hope I can find it. Ustream. Yeah, Ustream producer. There you are. Isn't this technology wonderful? So I'm going to go back to my eyesight. That's my camera. There I am. So I'm signing off for today. It's going to be a beautiful sunny day here in the Pacific Northwest. 78. Can you believe that? It is October and it's going to be 78. Amazing. So until next week, when my topic is going to be, are you settling for less? So bye for now.